Hey geeks, it's Jenny. Today what I want to do is actually teach you how to build your very own LinkedIn bio page. Now, if you already know what LinkedIn bio is and you've been using it or you know how to use it, just check out the description, which will have a timestamp for you to actually click to go straight to the beginning of the tutorial. Because what I'm going to do is actually explain what LinkedIn bio is first. So this relates to Instagram. So to just kind of like paint a picture for you, I guess, when Instagram was first released, the whole point behind it, which is what kind of the Insta means, it was supposed to be something that was an instantaneous snapshot of what you were doing, where you were, that kind of thing in your day, in your life, in, whatever you were, what kind of profile you had. So they never intended it to actually be a business platform. It was going to be literally a photo sharing platform. They never realized that it was something that we would use for our work and probably never understood the value that a good, pretty picture has. So when Instagram evolved into being very much, creator slash business kind of platform, what actually happened was, and I'm sure you've probably noticed, there is nowhere in Instagram posts that you can actually click a link. So the only link that is available in Instagram, I'm just going to show you here, this is my Geek Queen, this is the only link that is available in Instagram. So it doesn't matter what you post, where in you post, you can type a link out and it will still write it in there. It'll still be text, but it's not clickable. And it's not really copyable either. Like if you go to Instagram on desktop, but whoever does that, you could actually, I guess, probably use your mouse and copy the link. But on your phone or your tablet, it makes it really hard. It's really, really challenging to try and copy that link to actually go anywhere else. So Instagram traditionally has not been somewhere that you can use your post to direct people to specific articles or blogs or photos or whatever you want them to see. You've always only ever had this link here, which is called your link, the link in your bio. So what actually happened was a couple of companies actually started offering a service where you could schedule your Instagram posts, which you never could for a long time. So these companies sprung up and that's what they offered, was a service to do scheduling. And one in particular later, who I've been using for my Charge the Globe, my travel website scheduling for a long time, they actually have an extra thing called Link in Bio. Now, they're not the only one that has it. A lot of the other companies have it now too. But the easiest way for me to show you how this works is actually to weirdly show you how this works. So if I go to my Charge the Globe link, for example, my Charge the Globe Instagram, for example, so here's all my posts here. And then if I actually go to my later login, this is my login. Now, if I'm just assuming I'm going to schedule this post. So I've picked the image I want. I'm going to write all my captions and put all my hashtags in here. And then you'll see this option here. Now what that is where I would post the link that's going to send people that want to know about walking the Camino to the place on my website that has that information. So it's probably going to be a blog post. It would be, Charge the Globe / Walking the Camino, whatever I've called it. And I would paste that in here. So this link in here is where people that are looking at this post want to go to. So I would publish that, and then when that, take a step back. What I would also do is when I'm writing my caption in here, I would literally say, click link in my bio for more info, or something like that. And anyone who's ever used Instagram pretty much knows what the link in your bio is, and a lot of people are used to doing that because you've never been able to actually put a link in your post captions. So that's kind of what I would put in. So I'm literally telling people to go to the link in my bio, and that will give them more information. So once these companies like later came along and you could actually do this link in bio, so you would do the link here, like I said, that relates to this post. But what they would give you is they would give you this link here, and that's what you would put as your bio link. So when people click that, it brings them to this page, which you can see is a reasonable reflection of what you've posted on Instagram. So the Japan one is the biggest one because it was the most recent one that I posted, and I had a link about it. So it always puts that at the top because it's the most recent. It tells you, tap on any image to learn more. That's really good advice. And then any of these that I click, they will actually take me to the link that I used here to, which is specific to that actual kind of post. So this West Australia one, if I click that, it's going to take you to my West Australian post, my most recent West Australian post, or whatever the link that I used is. So in this case, it's, you know, my top 10 recommendations for Western Australia, which if you haven't been, you have to go. It's West Australia. It's just beautiful. So did I click that then? No, I didn't. Okay, so I'm just going to go back here. So that's what this is where you would be taken. So people would come to your Instagram here. Sorry. My internet's very slow today. The guys on the phone company are at the front working. I think they're doing something. So any of these that I clicked on, I would come to this page and then I could choose it again and click it again and go where I wanted to go. So it's been a remarkable tool. It's been really, really handy, and it was really great thinking on behalf of these people. However, like all things like this, it's not free. You have to pay to use it. And in the whole kind of COVID drama, like everybody else, I'm kind of looking at ways to curb my business spending. So I actually was searching for free ways to schedule Instagram posts, and I kind of thought, oh, it's going to be crap. I'm not going to be able to do it. It's going to, you know, limit me for this, that, or something else. And I actually discovered that there's actually a creator in Facebook that you can do it with. It's completely free. You can schedule stuff as much as you want. I had no idea that existed. I can't believe I'm going to say that, but I actually didn't know. And it's completely free. As long as you've got kind of a Facebook profile and you can link your Instagram and your Facebook pages and what have you, you can do all your scheduling from there for free. And I was like, well, that's great. I can schedule stuff for free. Oh, but it doesn't give me any link in bio. What am I going to do about that? And then I thought, you know what? Sometimes I'm not very smart. I'm really don't think about stuff. I thought, I'm a web developer. This is what I do. I have the skills. Why don't I just make my own link in bio page? Because I'm like, why would I send somebody to someone else's website as the first point of call? I mean, this does look like me. It's not like it looks like, you know, later have all their branding all over it or anything like that. It does look like, you know, it's all my images and, you know, what have you. So it does look like that, but it's one extra step. And apart from that, if people don't go any further, do I really want someone else to have had the benefit of that traffic? No. I want myself to have the benefit of that traffic. And if I'm going to drive traffic to my website, I want to actually take action that might help to convert them or might help them to go further through into my website and, you know, buy one of my photos or even just follow my blog or do something like that. But what I want is actually the traffic. I want the traffic first. I don't want to be sending it to someone else. So today, what I'm going to teach you is how to make your very own link in bio page. Sorry. Okay, so to begin with, I'm going to explain what this is going to do. So we're going to be creating our very own link in bio page. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to create a page where we're going to direct our Instagram traffic to. Now, if you're one of my clients and I've built your website and you have you're on the platform that I use, you're going to be able to follow this step by step. If you have another platform, if you use Squarespace or Wix or WordPress or anything like that, you're still going to be able to do the process. Obviously, just the technical how-to is going to be slightly different. So I suggest you still watch, because this is going to have really good value information to you. Little tricks that I've decided that I've worked out that have made it easier and that kind of stuff. So it's still worth watching. But like I say, technically the steps might be slightly different with how you have to create it yourself. So I'm going to go back to my my Geek Queen one now. So this is my Geek Queen Instagram feed. So this is where people land when they come from Instagram. So you can see the URL I've created is geekqueen.com.au, and I've called the page Instagram. Now, one of the biggest things you'll see is it's not on the menu here. Now, there is a deliberate reason for that. What I actually want this page to do is I want this page to grab my Instagram traffic so people can actually go further and take further action from the Instagram posts that I've done and things that might interest them from those posts. So what I don't really want is I don't want my existing website users to be able to come here and navigate to this page and then never have to actually interact with me on Instagram. I still want to encourage those engagements and those likes and those shares and those comments on Instagram. So I don't want this page to be in the menu where people can actually just click it and just come here and look at stuff they want to see and never actually go to my Instagram. Now, of course, if they've come here from Instagram just once and they've seen this page and they want to come back, awesome. Like, that's great. And down here, I've told them to, to bookmark it so they can get back here. But I still don't want it on the menu because I don't want people to come here and look at all my Instagram stuff from here rather than come from Instagram. But if they have come from Instagram in the past, I'd like them to know that they can get back here because the chances of dealing with me on Instagram are still fairly decent because that's how they arrived here. So there's a very real reason for that. It's totally up to you or not, whether you decide to make this page that's on your menu or not. That's totally your decision. It's not going to make a great deal of difference from an SEO perspective, so don't kind of really consider that into the factor. That's just the considerations that you'd have to make yourself. Now, before we go any further, you're going to have a decision to make. So this decision is based around how crazy you are about scheduling or not. For example, if you're like me and you schedule almost a month's worth of Instagram posts through your Creator Scheduler or however you schedule your posts, then what you actually want to do is you want to create your link in bio page as well. But what you don't want is your client coming in here looking for a post that they've clicked on from today. Let's just say it's the 10th of the month, and let's just say this is the post that they've clicked on. This is yesterday's post. They've come in here. Now just remember, if you've actually pre-done all this and published it, this post is going to be buried about 4 rows down, because if that's the 10th, there's another 20 days higher than this that are going to have all those posts that you've already done as well. So am I making sense? So if you want to keep in line with your Instagram, you really only want to be that day or maybe a day or two ahead with your posts in here. So while this is a post on Instagram, it only went live on Instagram yesterday, so you really don't want to have the next 20 days of the month pre-done in here and already higher up this list, because when your client gets here and they're looking for this picture, it's 4 or 5 rows down because it was, you've got the rest of the month in here. So this is like the 9th and you've already done up to the end of the month. You're going to have 3 or 4 more rows in here of posts. So your current post is not going to be one of the first ones they see, and that's probably not going to work. So this is the theme behind my 2-page setup. So this is my Instagram page. You can see this is what it's called, it's my Instagram page. Now this was actually yesterday's post, so I'm all up to date here. Now what I've done is I set up another page. This is my Instagram prep page, I call it. And if you look here, this is my entire month's worth of posts. And see this picture here? It is 1, 2, 3. It is 4 rows down from the top. So this is what I mean. This is what your page would look like if this was your live Instagram page. So your client would come here from this photo, and when they land, it's nowhere to be seen. They've scrolled to the fourth row, before they see it, and that's probably not what you want. So what I've done is I've made it this prep page, and I've done all my posts for the month in here because no one sees this page. I've created a URL, so it's some random combination of letters and numbers, so no one's ever going to just randomly find it. It's not in the menu, so it's not navigable. So I can actually come in here and do all my posts for the month. They're all ready to go, and then all I have to do on a daily basis is copy the next one to my live page and publish it. That's it. So I hope that makes sense. So I've made like this prep page because I like to schedule things, or I like to do things ages in advance. It's much, much faster for me to do 30 of these and do a month's worth than it is to come in every day and do the new one, because I can't remember what I was going to talk about, or, I've got all this all on a list or whatever, but I just kind of make points. And as I come in and do it, I'm much slower at it than if I do literally 30 at once. So I've come in here, I think this was around the 18th of the month. So this is like literally from the 18th to the end of the month. All my posts are ready to go. I've done them all. They took me a couple of hours, maybe, probably not even that long, if I'm really honest about it. Excuse me, but all ready to go. Okay, so what I can now do is, this is yesterday's. So this is going to be today's. I'm sorry. This is going to be tomorrow's post. And look at that. It's going to be about how to make your own link in bio page. How about that? So now that I'm ready to go, I want to publish this tomorrow. I've come in. It's tomorrow morning. It's in my calendar. My calendar pops up and says, hey, don't forget to update your Instagram link in bio page. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this. I'm going to come up here and I'm going to come back to my main page. And I've already got a spare row here. So I'm literally just going to paste this in. And then I'm going to click publish and I'm done for today. So that is probably less than a minute in the mornings that you would have to do. Now that is the one kind of, I guess, we're talking pros and cons, that's probably the one con, is that you're either going to have to create these every day or pre-create them and just copy them into this actual live page on a daily basis. Now, what I do is on Fridays, if I actually know what I've already got planned out what I'm posting Saturday and Sunday, I post them in as well, because a couple of days isn't going to make any difference. And it's still in this top row, so if someone comes in on Friday, it's still really easy to spot this, and there's only Saturdays and Sundays there, and it doesn't look that strange. But if, Fridays is like way back down here, that's a total another ball game. So that's the reason I have two pages. So one is my prep page. I do all my work on that. I get all my stuff done for the month. It's all ready to go. And then on a daily basis, I copy that, come in, paste it to my live one and republish. That's it. A minute's work. So I hope that makes sense. Now I've just actually noticed here that I haven't done this background properly in this inner row. So I'm just going to do that while I'm here. So I'm going to do my background color, and I think that I made those 65%. Yep, I did. Perfect. Yep, that's all good. No problem. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how I actually make this whole thing. So I'm going to go back to my prep page, because it doesn't matter if I make any mistakes on there. No one's ever going to see that. There's no direction to this page from anywhere. So first of all, I've made my row. So I've added my new row. Now, when you add a new row, you only get the one column. So to add the extra columns, you're just going to right click and add column. So just as many as you want. I've stuck with the 3 because that's very similar to how you view Instagram. There's normally 3 posts per line. So that's why I've stuck with 3 columns. It's kind of, I feel like it's there's a bit of continuation there. And I've actually made the background of this row this marble. That's a very subtle kind of pattern. So even though it doesn't repeat, like if you look down here along that line there, when I take my mouse away, you can kind of see it doesn't really repeat. But it's such a subtle pattern that you can't tell. You can't notice it. It still looks really good, and I love the marble, so I'm happy with that. If you had something like another pattern, you'd have to make sure that it was a repetitive pattern, so it didn't look cut off on every single row. And don't do gradients, because it's very, very hard to make a gradient flow. So the only way to really do that would be to do like from light to dark here, and then from dark to light on the next row. But that, as you get more of that, it's very, very hard to read, and it looks a little ugly, to tell you the truth. So I would say a very subtle pattern or plain color as the background of your row. We've got our column here. I've set my spacing in between my columns. This column has 10 spacing on the right. This has 10 on both sides. This is 10 on the left side, which gives me a 20 mil gap on each one. And then I've made my inner rows. Now the reason I've used inner rows is because I want 2 columns in each row, because I want my picture and my information. If you're going to do it more vertically, you wouldn't need it in a row. You just put your image in and then you drag your information under your image, so that would be kind of longer like this. But I would recommend the 3 rows because it is very similar to how you view Instagram, so it's easy to find things. So I've made my inner row. Now, if you have a look at the settings on my inner row, I've just made 2 columns. If we have a look at the design, Um, I've used the background color, which is the white that I just did, and I've made it 65% transparency, just so you can kind of see through it a little. I want it to be obvious, I don't want it to be completely see-through to the marble, and the text looks better with a bit of a colored background, but I don't want it stark white, so that's why I did the transparency. Okay, and I made the shadow on the inner row. Now the reason I've done that is you could do it if you're doing a vertical setup. You can actually make your shadow on the column, but on the days where, like this is today, and then the other 2 days aren't up yet, you can see it's very obvious something's supposed to go there and it doesn't look great. So you're better to do your shadow on your inner row. If you're doing the vertical one, you can do it on your column because there's not going to be anything else in there. But you just have to make sure that when you're actually not using these columns, you take that shadow back out, and that looks okay, whereas it really looked like something was missing when the shadow was there. Okay, so this is why I'm using inner rows, is because I want 2 columns in each row. So I've added my inner row, I've made 2 columns, I put a little bit of padding on the left here, a little bit of padding on the right here, which is actually spacing as far as our platform is concerned. So this is where you set your spacing here. And I did that so that it just kind of, you can see it's just aligned a bit better. I didn't want them all kind of meshed up together. I didn't think that would look very good. This is a heading 2, so I've just added a heading 2 in here. This is text, and these are my social sharing buttons. Now, what I want to show you is when you use these, I've had a lot of clients use these and use the wrong ones. So when you get down here to your social, you have your social icons. Now when you drag that on, it looks the same. It's icons. It looks the same. But what these do is when clients click on this, it just goes to your social page. So it goes to your Facebook page or your Twitter or your Instagram or whatever it is. It doesn't share anything. It just directs them to that social platform. So when you use your sharing, which is what these ones are, what that does is when they click here, it goes to Facebook with the article, with whatever the page is, ready to share it. So it means that you're going to have your content shared. You're not just directing people to your your social page. Hope that makes sense. So social icons takes people to just the location. The share will actually share the page. So I hope that makes sense. Okay, and then I've literally made these. So you could make a blank one of these, or you could just kind of, copy a new one every time. Obviously, I just made one, and then when I want to reuse it again, I just copy. And then if I'm going to put it in this blank column, for example, I just click on the column, to go to my little settings cog and paste. And there it is. And then I just replace my image, I change my text and what have you, and I'm ready to go. So that's pretty easy. Sorry, delete that out of there. Now, there's one other thing that I always recommend is keep it in single rows. So it's very tempting to just go add, okay, so if I copy this one, and paste him in there. Okay, and then I'm going to paste another one. Remember, it always goes above. So, and let's just say I'm just going to put a spacer in there so they look really hard to add a spacer in. There we go, got him there. Okay, and now you can see like that, it looks very similar. It kind of looks the same. But the challenge is, because this is our prep, remember this is our prep page. This is where we're putting everything together. If we have a row that has maybe 5 of these columns long and we do the whole month, when we want to get this into our live page, we copy this row, the whole lot comes over. So then we're literally deleting all these things that we don't need. So it's much easier, I'm going to delete that now, much easier to keep it in these single rows. Okay, so when there's only one single row of 3, we only have to actually copy the whole row. So, we started here, and then there's this one, and then there's this one, and then we're going up. So let's just say this is the new row for what's actually going to happen live. So what I could actually do is I could just copy this inner row, and I could paste that, or I could copy the whole row and paste that, but I have those options. So, and I'm not mucking around with spacing and making sure I've got it all right and everything like that. Okay, so then all we literally have to do is we're just going to copy the inner row or the whole row over to our actual live page. So then we've got all these different, so what I can do now is I can just copy that as just a row, and I can paste him in at the top. Okay, and then I just to show you what it would be like, I'm just going to delete that for tomorrow. And then when people comes in here, that doesn't look terrible. Like, it's probably less than ideal, but it doesn't look terrible. So that's kind of ready to go for the next option. So then when I can either just copy these rows from my other page and paste them in, or I can copy the whole row, paste it in, and just delete one or two I don't want. So it just gives me more options. If it's all in one row, it makes a bit of a challenge. I guess it makes it slower on the morning. So when we're going to come in the morning and do this, we're actually going to have to make sure our spacing is all right and everything's all set out. Whereas if we do it this way, it's all the same. We just have to delete the two posts we don't want or add in one we do want. So it just makes it easier. So let's come back to our prep page. Sorry, and I'm just going to get rid of that one before I forget to delete it and post it all. So yeah, so I've done all this month's work, and all I want to do, like I say, I've just copied him. I've come back to my live page and I pasted him here for tomorrow, and then I can leave that there for now, and in the morning all I have to do is literally just come in here, log in, and just click republish. Now typically what I do in the mornings is I would actually go to my prep page, copy it, paste it, and publish. So I don't tend to do this like I've done this now for tomorrow. I don't tend to do that. I tend to just come in the morning, paste the one for the day, and republish. Now, if it's a weekend, that's where I'm saying I would copy the whole row. Let's just say this was Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's easier for me to just copy the row, paste the whole row, and that's fine because I'm just going to set them like it does. I don't care that they're live. It's only 2. I'm not bothered about that. But it just means that I can just do them one at a time or a row at a time, and I don't have to worry about kind of aligning everything and having something out that just doesn't work properly. So I hope that makes sense. So just to recap, what we're going to do is we're going to create 2 pages. Okay, I've created the Instagram, and I've just called this one Live Insta, just because I wanted it to be very obvious what it was different. I've hidden both of these, so they're not going to be able to be navigated to from the menu. The Instagram one, the URL is the same as the name. So when I come in here and have a look, you can see it's called Instagram. But this, sorry, I closed the whole thing there. But this one is actually got a very different URL. So no one's ever going to be able to guess it or navigate to it, or it's just kind of letters and numbers and what have you. So it's not going to ever be found. So even though you're republishing your whole website, and this technically is live, no one's ever going to find it. So you're fine with that. And then, yeah, so then that's all I do. So I just come in the morning, I come to my prep page, I copy whatever my one is for the day. Let's say it's that. I copy it. I go back to my main Insta page, and I come down to where it's going to go. I just click the column, settings. Oh, I mustn't have copied that properly. Ah, dear. Let's come back. That is copy. That looked like it worked, didn't it? Instagram. Paste. Okay, and then publish. And then that's my day's job. So what I've done is I've set up my prep page. I've done all my Instagram posts for the month on my prep page. And then on a daily basis, all I do is copy that, come in, paste it on my live page and republish. That's it. So I hope that makes sense. I hope it is kind of fairly easy to follow, but it's pretty easy. So you literally just, like I say, the only real kind of con is that you really have to come in every day and just republish what is your current post. But, you know, I don't think that's too much of a challenge. And the benefit is that every time someone clicks on your link, they're coming to your website and they're not just seeing the image, you're getting a little bit more information. So you're encouraging them to click through. And even if they don't click through here, you know, your menu is still at the top here. They can still see what else you do and what have you. It's not just kind of getting them to this generic page of pictures, which, you know, if they really, really want something, they will step through, but this is going to be a much better conversion rate than just a page of images. Okay, so the next step that you're going to do is you're just going to come back to your Instagram page and you're going to replace the link that is currently here with just the link of the page that you've just created. So you can see mine is geekquit.com.au Instagram. So you're just going to go to edit profile, and where your website is, you're just going to create that with, replace that with the link that you've got here. And that's it. So obviously not the link you got here because that's mine, but your own website, Instagram page that you just made. And just submit that, save that, and you're all good. So then once you get back to your Instagram, you should just see your own link in bio here. So all you have to do now is when you paste your posts and you do have a link that you want people to move forward with, you just have to remind them that they need to click the link in your bio. And that's probably something you're going to have to routinely do because, your existing followers might, get the hang of that and do it quite quickly. Any new followers won't. So in most of your posts, if you want people to click through and take action, you've actually got to tell them to do that. So normally, after the first sentence, maybe just don't forget to click the link in my bio to read more about this, or to view the pictures, or to, visit the blog, or whatever you want to say. And they'll come up here and they'll click your link in the bio, and guess where that's going to take them? To this magic page that you made. So well done. So if you've worked your way through this and you've understood everything I've said and you've made this page, good on you. That's a great achievement. Well done. So, and like I said, if you don't use our platform, if you use another platform, the process is the same. It's just going to be the steps and how you get there that's going to be a bit different. But yeah, benefit from traffic coming to your page and you having the chance to actually push people further into your website or to take action that you want them to take. So I hope this has worked. I hope that it helps you, and don't forget to visit my website and leave a comment on the blog post if you like this. Let me know anything I've missed, because I normally always do, and anything that you'd like to see in regards to this Instagram link in bio page. So great. Thank you. Bye.